Thomas, who was called Didymus, which means twin, said to the rest of the disciples, "Let's go so that we too can die with Jesus." This is a different side of Thomas. Usually when we think of Thomas, we think of doubting Thomas when he didn't believe the other disciples when they told him that Christ had rose from the dead. But here Thomas is saying, let's go with Jesus. And the context is, this is when they're going to go back to Judea because of Lazarus dying. And back in verse 8 it says that they had just recently tried to stone Jesus. So the disciples are saying, you want to go back there? And that's why Thomas says, let's go. In John 15:20, we're told, Jesus tells us that the servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted Jesus, then they're going to persecute us. And in Matthew 24:9, we're told that Jesus tells us that we will be arrested, persecuted, and killed. We'll be hated everywhere because we follow God, well, we follow Christ. And it just made me think of the recent shootings in Oregon, and then just a couple months ago, the ones in Charleston. I mean, it's more than just guns and race. I mean, this is good versus evil. To hate somebody for saying they're a Christian, I mean, that should tell you that there is a devil and there is a spiritual war going on. Yesterday I commented something on a video, a Bible verse, and then I had some replies to it, and I might have gave into it a little more than I should have. But you know, then I started wondering, why did they, you call them trolls, but why did they go to these sites to do that? I mean, because it's the devil. It's not that they don't, it's the devil speaking through them. The devil hates it. And we're told in Matthew 5:10 through 12 that blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And that blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manners of evil against you falsely for Christ's sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. Say the persecuted the prophets who are before you. And I just want to leave you with a quote by Rich Mullins. He says that, never forget what Jesus did for you. Never take lightly what it cost him. Never assume that if it cost him his very life, that it won't also cost you yours. So that's just something to think about. May we lift up prayers for the guy that took the bullets in Oregon, and pray for the families there, and continue to pray for the families in Charleston. And also don't forget our brothers and sisters who were persecuted in the underground church in places where the Bible's not allowed.